Hi everyone. Today we are going to discuss about a global agricultural matrix. This is a structural taxonomy of physical drivers, economic systems, and regional practices. The foundation of human civilization is the agriculture. Agriculture plus culture, in Latin, tillage of fields. Global population kept before the invention of agriculture was less than 15 million. Okay, then more than 1/3 of the population of the global working population engaged directly or indirectly in agriculture. Okay, that means of the total population of the world total population, 1/3 is engaged in agricultural and agricultural activities directly or indirectly, and 2/3 of the world population relying on agriculture for day-to-day living. Agricultural surplus enabled the division of labor, freeing societies to develop specialization outside of food acquisition. The dual drivers of agricultural systems: physical factors, that is nature's constants, and socio-economic factors, human inputs. Okay, for example, physical factors: physiography, it's physiography, land features, water availability, irrigation facilities, climate, rainfall, temperature, humidity, etc., and soil. Socio-economic factors, for example, labor forces, capital investment, marketing risk, transportation. Agriculture is rarely uniform. It is practiced under multiple highly specific combination of these physical and socio-economic variables. That means these variables, physical and socio-economic variables. A global taxonomy of farming systems. Okay, they are broadly categorized into four basic types of farming systems worldwide. Okay, subsistence, production for self-consumption, uses for their day-to-day life. Primitive and intensive, there are two types of subsistence farming: primitive and intensive farming. Then number 2, commercial and mixed, large scale and they are market driven. And plantation, extensive grain and mixed farmings are 3 examples of this commercial and mixed farming. Then number 3, specialized and urban, climate specific or proximity driven. There are 4 examples like Mediterranean, dairy farming, truck and market and factory farming. Then last, number 4, organizational, defined by ownership structures, cooperative and collective. Now, subsistence farming, production for self-consumption. Products are locally grown and entirely consumed by the farming areas, not meant for market sale. There are 2 types: primitive subsistence and intensive subsistence. Primitive subsistence farming, small patches, low population density and nomadic or shifting. And intensive subsistence, high population density, permanent fields and high manual labor input. Then primitive subsistence, the slash and burn mechanics, also known as zooming in Northeast India, milpa in Central America, ladang in Indonesia and Malaysia. Tropical regions, key flash and burn zones, clear vegetation by fire, and then earth fertilizes soil, cultivate with primitive tools like sticks and hoes, and then soil loses fertility, farmer shifts to new pets. Again, they clear vegetation by fire. And similarly, it's a cycling process. Okay, it's also known as zooming in Northeast India. Then intensive subsistence, paddy versus non-paddy, dominated by wet paddy region, densely populated monsoon Asia. Characteristics: paddy is the major crop, very small land holdings, heavy manual labor, family driven, very limited machinery, use of farm yard manures. Okay, low productivity per person, and dominated by other crops, region China, Manchuria, North Korea, North Japan, North India and Pakistan. The characteristics: physical relief or climate, prevents paddy growth, focus on wheat, barley, soybean, sorghum, and heavy reliance on irrigation systems. Then coming to commercial systems, scale, capital and markets, purpose from local consumption to profit driven sale, scale from small and family owned holdings to vast estates and plains, inputs, transition from manual labor and organic manure to heavy mechanization, chemical fertilizers and scientific management. Plantation agriculture, single crop specialization, established during European colonization to extract high value crops like tea, coffee, rubber, cotton, oil, plum, sugarcane, pineapple and banana, etc. And there are system characteristics in plantation agriculture like large estate and plantations, single crop specialization, scientific modern cultivation methods, huge capital investment, well managed technical support, cheap permanent labor and strong transport networks. Extensive commercial gain, the mechanized plains, the yield paradox, low yield per area but high yield per person. Okay, the productivity of this cultivation is high relative to other types of cultivation. Mechanics, fully mechanics from plugging to harvest, and extremely limited manual labor and massive farm sizes. Okay, Eurasian steppes, Canadian American prairies, pampas of Argentina, vales in South Africa, downs in Australia, and plains of New Zealand. These are some global examples of this extensive commercial farmings. And crop are primarily wheat, also corn, rye, and oats and barley. Okay, now mixed farming, dual income systems, crop cultivation and fodder, fertility, feed, and animal husbandry is an example. Geographic context found in highly developed regions like northwestern Europe, eastern North America, temperate latitudes of southern continents. And system characteristics, moderate farm sizes with high capital expenditure on machinery buildings, managed by highly skilled farmers, equal emphasis on crops, wheat, barley, maize, root crops, and livestock like cattle, sheep, pigs, and poultry. And crucial mechanics, fodder crops, crop rotation, and intercropping maintain soil fertility and feed livestock. Okay, this is mixed farming. Then specialized in urban adjacent systems, mainly found in city centers. Certain agricultural systems bypass general commodity markets to target high-income urban consumers or leverage highly specific microclimates. Key drivers are refrigeration, and overnight logistics and greenhouse technologies. Okay, this is also known as specialized and urban adjacent systems. Then Mediterranean agriculture, the winter advantage. Location, Mediterranean coast, Southern California, Central Chile, Southwestern South Africa, Southwestern Australia. Then strategic advantage, growing high-value crops in winter to supply off-season demand in European and North American markets. Basic core outputs, citrus fruits and vegetables. And viticulture spotlight in this Mediterranean region. Grape cultivation is highly specialized here, giving the region dominance in producing the world's highest quality wines. Okay. Urban-centric models, proximity and intensity, dairy farming and market gardening, horticulture, truck farming and factory farming. Okay, dairy farming, highly capital and labor intensive, milking mechanics, vet care, strict feeding, clustered near urban centers due to milk spoilage, and key regions, northwestern Europe, Canada, Southeast Australia, New Zealand. Market gardening and horticulture, high value vegetation, fruit, flowers for high income urbanities. Small farms, excellent transport links, utilizes greenhouses and artificial heating. Truck farming, specialized in vegetables only. Glossary call out named truck farming because farm distance is strictly governed by the distance a truck can drive to market overnight. And factory farming, industrial Northwest Europe and Northeast America. Livestock, poultry, cattle and raised, strictly installed spans on manufacturing feed. And high building, lighting and vet capital required are main characteristics of this factory farming. Now, organizational frameworks, ownership and policy, cooperative farms, structure, voluntary pooling of resources, individual land ownership remains intact in these systems. Then benefits are collective effort creates efficiencies in buying inputs and processing and selling products at favorable conditions. And collective farming, also known as kolkhoz, for example, kolkhoz. Structure, social ownership of production means introduced in Soviet Union to boast self-sufficiency. Mechanics, farmers pool all resources, keeping all tiny personal plots. Government states production targets and fixed prices. Engagement dictates farmer payout. Applying the taxonomy, agriculture systems are the spatial expression of physical constants and socio-economic ingenuity. What physiography and climate govern your local region? Local diagnostics. Economic are the surrounding systems driven by subsistence, urban proximity or global export. Structural, how are local farms organized and how does that dictate their capital and labor intensity? Okay, that's all for today. If you have any doubt and query, just let me know in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Thank you.